Deep in the heart of a dense forest, rumors whispered of an eerie presence lurking among towering trees and tangled underbrush. The locals called it the mysterious forest, a place where dark secrets coiled within the shadows, waiting to ensnare unsuspecting wanderers. Legend spoke of those who ventured in, never to return. The mystery of the forest had engulfed the region, captivating everyone's imagination. Nancy, an intrepid adventurer with a thirst for the unknown, had heard these tales and felt compelled to uncover the truth. Armed with a flashlight and a backpack filled with curiosity, she stood at the forest's edge, peering into its depths. The foliage seemed to whisper eerie promises, luring her ever further. "This is it," Nancy muttered to herself, palms sweaty and heart pounding against her ribcage. Time to find out what secrets lie within. Before she could take another step, a wrinkled old woman emerged from a nearby cottage. She wore a tattered shawl and clutched a gnarled wooden cane, her eyes filled with warning. "Beware, young one," the woman rasped. "The mysterious forest is not a place for the faint-hearted. It harbors much more than you can fathom." Nancy smirked, undeterred. "I've heard the stories, but I need to see for myself. I crave the thrill, the unknown." The old woman sighed, her voice tinged with genuine concern. "Very well. But know this. The forest has a way of twisting reality. Test your mettle, if you dare. But remember, some things are better left undiscovered." With a defiant nod to the old woman, Nancy ventured into the labyrinth of trees. The air grew colder, the daylight swallowed by the dense canopy above. The hushed whispers of the forest danced in her ears, unnatural and foreboding. As Nancy delved deeper into the forest, each step felt heavier. Her mind swirled with questions, anxiety creeping up her spine. Was it a mistake to embark on this perilous journey? What awaited her behind the veil of darkness? Suddenly, a voice echoed through the trees. "Who dares to trespass into my domain?" Nancy's heart skipped a beat. She spun around, searching for the source of the voice. "Who's there?" she called out, her voice trembling. A figure emerged from the shadows, clad in a cloak as black as night. His piercing blue eyes held a glimmer of both mischief and madness. "I am the Guardian," he declared. "My forest does not take kindly to intruders. I come seeking answers," Nancy said, her voice defiant yet tinged with fear. "Why have so many people disappeared within these woods?" The Guardian's lips curled into a sinister smile. "Curiosity is a dangerous trait. I could tell you. But would you be willing to pay the price?" Nancy hesitated, the weight of the forest's secrets pressing against her. She steeled herself and took a step forward. "Yes, I am willing to pay any price." The Guardian's laughter echoed, filling the air with a haunting melody. "Very well," he said, extending a hand towards Nancy. "But be warned, young adventurer, the truth you seek may be more than you bargained for." Nancy grasped the Guardian's hand firmly, feeling a jolt of electricity course through her veins. The forest seemed to come to life around them, the trees whispering and shifting as they revealed their dark secrets. As the truth unraveled before Nancy's eyes, she discovered that the mysterious forest was not just a haven for the lost, but a gateway to another realm altogether. The missing wanderers had stumbled upon a portal, one that led to a parallel universe entangled with the very fabric of their own. The Guardian tilted his head, observing Nancy's reaction. "Does this truth satisfy your curiosity?" he asked, his voice dripping with a mix of amusement and malevolence. Nancy's mind reeled, thoughts colliding as she grappled with the magnitude of the revelation. What happened to those who entered this realm? She whispered, her voice barely audible. The Guardian's eyes darkened, his expression turning somber. "The parallel universe consumes those who dare to cross its threshold. It feeds on their memories, their desires. It turns them into ethereal beings, trapped forever between realms. Can they ever find their way back?" Nancy asked, hope laced with desperation in her voice. The Guardian shook his head solemnly. "Once consumed, there is no escape. The missing wanderers are forever bound to the parallel universe, condemned to wander its twisted corridors for eternity." A chill ran down Nancy's spine, the weight of the truth settling upon her shoulders. "Is there nothing we can do to save them?" she pleaded. The Guardian's gaze softened, a flicker of sympathy in his eyes. "There is but one way," he said, his voice barely a whisper. A sacrifice must be made. A sacrifice? Nancy's mind raced, searching for an answer. What kind of sacrifice? She asked cautiously. The Guardian's gaze bored into Nancy's soul. To save them, you must give up a piece of your own memories. A vital memory that defines who you are. Nancy's heart sank. But which memory? How can I choose? The Guardian smirked, an unsettling glimmer in his eyes. Ah, you see, that is the cruelty of it. You must choose the memory that holds the most significance to you. The one that will leave a void in your being. Panic welled up within Nancy, the weight of the forest's secrets now bearing down on her in full force. The sacrifice seemed insurmountable, yet the thought of leaving the Wanderers trapped haunted her. Hours passed as Nancy considered her options, each memory dearer than the last. Finally, she made her choice. I am ready, Nancy declared, her voice steady though her heart trembled. Tell me what needs to be done. The forest's atmosphere grew heavy with anticipation as the Guardian extended a hand, palm open. Place your chosen memory in my hand, he instructed, his voice an ethereal whisper. With trembling hands, Nancy reached into the depths of her mind, summoning the memory she had chosen. It materialized as a glowing orb, pulsing with her essence. The Guardian's eyes gleamed with malevolence as he closed his fingers around the orb. The memory was absorbed into him, vanishing instantly. A moment of silence stretched between them, the forest holding its breath. And then, in a blinding flash, the missing Wanderers materialized before Nancy's eyes. Joy radiated from their faces, their forms now solid and tangible. Tears of gratitude streamed down their cheeks as they thanked her, their voices echoing around the forest. Nancy's heart swelled with a bittersweet joy. She had saved them, but at a cost. As the Wanderers embraced their newfound freedom, Nancy turned to the Guardian with weary eyes. Is this it? Is our deal concluded? The Guardian nodded, a glimmer of respect in his gaze. Indeed, young adventurer. You have fulfilled your end of the bargain. As Nancy prepared to leave the mysterious forest, her heart heavy with the memory she had lost, the Guardian called out to her one last time. Remember, dear Nancy, he said, his voice softer than before. Sometimes the greatest adventures come with the steepest sacrifices. With those words, Nancy stepped out of the forest, a profound emptiness gnawing at her soul. She had saved the Wanderers, but at the cost of a memory that would forever leave a void within her. Weeks passed, and Nancy tried to resume her normal life, but a lingering emptiness shadowed her every step. The void left by the sacrifice memory taunted her day and night. One evening, as Nancy sat in her favorite cafe, a stranger approached her table. He was tall, with a mischievous glint in his eyes. Do you mind if I join you? The stranger asked cheerfully. Nancy glanced up, curiosity piqued. Sure, have a seat. The stranger took a sip of his coffee, his eyes twinkling. You know, I couldn't help but notice the vacant look in your eyes. It's as if you've lost a vital piece of yourself. Nancy's heart skipped a beat, her curiosity now tinged with apprehension. What do you mean? The stranger leaned forward, his voice low. I happen to know a way to retrieve lost memories. For a price, of course. Nancy's eyes widened. Was it possible? Could she reclaim what she had sacrificed in the mysterious forest? What price? Nancy asked cautiously, her heart pounding with a mix of hope and trepidation. The stranger smiled, revealing a set of teeth too white and perfect to be natural. A simple favor. Help me retrieve a lost artifact from the heart of the mysterious forest, and I'll restore what you have lost. Dread crept up Nancy's spine, a familiar sensation she had felt once before. The mysterious forest? What assurance do I have this isn't a trap? The stranger shrugged. You'll have to trust me, dear Nancy. Isn't adventure all about taking risks? Nancy pondered his proposition, weighing the cost against the reward. Though the forest had taken one memory from her, it had also shown her an otherworldly realm and given her the chance to save others. In the end, her sense of adventure won, and she agreed to the stranger's terms. The next day, Nancy found herself back at the edge of the mysterious forest, the stranger at her side. The foliage whispered tales of caution, but she pushed forward. As they ventured deeper into the forest, The shadows danced around them, their movements reminiscent of the Guardian's mischievous gaze. "Why do you desire this artifact so much?" Nancy asked, her voice laced with curiosity. "What makes it worth risking everything?" The stranger turned to her, a twinkle in his eye. "Let's just say it holds the power to grant any wish, no matter how impossible." Nancy's mind reeled with possibilities. What would she wish for if given the chance? But she admonished herself. Focus on the task at hand. Hours turned into days, the forest's secrets revealing themselves in tantalizing fragments. Each step brought them closer to the artifact, and Nancy's anticipation grew with every passing breath. Finally, they stood before a towering ancient tree, its roots stretching deep into the earth. From within its knotholes gleamed a faint light, the artifact waiting to be claimed. The stranger turned to Nancy, his voice grave. "This is it, dear Nancy? Retrieve the artifact and take your memory back." Nancy's heart raced as she reached into the hollow, her fingers wrapping around the artifact's smooth surface. She pulled it out, and it shimmered in her palm, pulsing with untold power. And just as she had reclaimed what she had lost, the stranger's demeanor changed. His eyes turned cold, his smile twisted. "Thank you, Nancy. You've done far more than you can imagine." Dread gripped Nancy's heart as realization dawned. "What have you done?" The stranger laughed, an unsettling sound that echoed through the forest. "You see, Nancy, the artifact is bound to me, and with it, the power to bend reality to my will." The forest began to shift, its foliage turning into twisted shapes, its shadows morphing into grotesque figures. Nancy's heart pounded in her chest as she realized she had been played. In a desperate bid for survival, Nancy ran, her footsteps echoing through the twisted forest. The stranger's evil laughter echoed behind her, chasing her through the trees. As Nancy raced towards freedom, her mind filled with regret for her insatiable curiosity. But deep down, she knew that sometimes, the greatest dangers lurked within the darkest secrets of a mysterious forest. And this particular forest reveled in playing wicked tricks on unsuspecting wanderers.